A Requiem for the Forsaken. The Kelk Conflict. Implosion. Book 4 of the Black Sword Regiment. Written by J. L. Doty. Also narrated by J. L. Doty. Epigraph. Forsaken, damned, and dying. A bad day all around. Prologue. Innocence shattered. A frantic knock on the door to the apartment drew Matthias's attention away from his homework. 6 months ago, when the unrest had begun, the Novalis government had tried to keep schools open and buses running. But as the conflict progressed to a shooting war, they relented and closed almost everything. His mother, like many others, had tried to continue his education at home, but at that moment she was out shopping for groceries and he had the apartment to himself for a few hours. He did hope she came home with something decent for dinner. Of late, the selection on the store shelves had been somewhat limited. The rapid knocking continued, pulling Matthias out of his thoughts of food. Matthias slid his chair back from the table in their small kitchen and stood. Anything was better than homework, and he hoped that whoever waited in the hall outside their apartment might provide a break from the tedium of his lessons. He left his school reader on the table and crossed to the apartment door. On more important planets, important people with implants knew instantly who stood out in the hallway, but all their apartment had was the little lensed peephole in the middle of the door. He stood on the tips of his toes and stretched to get his eye level with it. Paolo, his schoolmate and neighbor, stood there pounding on the door. Without hesitation, Matthias unlatched the door and swung it open. When Paolo saw Matthias, his eyes widened. "They've captured one of the rebel leaders." "Really?" Matthias asked. "What's he look like?" Matthias expected to hear a description of a hardened man with narrow, piercing eyes that constantly darted about with distrust, the way the rebels appeared in the government vid coverage. Paolo shook his head. "I don't know. I haven't seen him." That answer disappointed Matthias considerably. "He's not on the vids?" "Not yet," Paolo said, showing none of the disappointment Matthias felt. "They're holding a public trial in the stadium, and they've invited everyone to attend." Paolo's eyes widened even farther as he gripped Matthias's shoulders and shook him. "Let's go and see for ourselves."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?